Today we're going to start getting ready to do the flat black stripes on the GTX. Now the factory did I'll say a kind of a crappy job with this flat black. The factory stuff, it looks terrible. It's super textured. It's not even. Looks terrible. We are going to use 8115 DC 8115 flat clear. We're going to prep this so that we don't have to seal this. There's no reason to seal this for what we're doing. This is nice, fresh clear on here, and we're going to prep this with 800. I'm going to DA everything up to 800, and obviously because this is flat, I'm not going to be clearing the whole fender and the whole hood. That's why I've got these stripes masked off the way I do right now. This is the way the stripes are. It's 11 5/8 inches wide in the middle, down the center line, and then it comes off the cowl straight off the front of the fender. And that's it for this flat black. But we're gonna prep this with 800, and then once we get it in the booth, we're gonna just go right to black base. We're gonna go right to black base. Once we've got coverage, 2 coats 8115, done. So now that I've got the big areas done with 800 on the DA, I'm going to take a super fine sanding sponge, the 3M sanding sponges, and I'm going to carefully just scuff right up to my tape lines everywhere. And then once I get the outside of this done, I'm going to clean the outside off, and then I'll open the hood and we'll mask the line just maybe a 1/4 inch down in the jam on the hood and on the fender, and we'll scuff up to that, and then this will be basically ready to blow off and go in the booth. So now that I've got the outside prepped, what I've done is open the hood, and we are going roughly 3/16 down from the corner of the panel. So I've got this masked so that I can scuff this, have a nice scuff line, and after I do this, blow it off, get it in the booth, start spraying. So now we've got the car in the booth, everything's scuffed, blown off, wiped down once, and we're gonna start masking. I'm gonna start underneath the hood. I'm gonna get all my paper laid down into the hood, into the jams, mask my lines up here on the hood, and paper everything, shut the hood, get in the door jam area up there, and after that, we're gonna mask our stripes on the outside, lay some plastic, start spraying. So now I've got this masked up, and I just wanted to show you guys this before I shut the hood, kind of what I did here. So I marked my line, paper onto they got 3/4 inch tape, and then paper with, tape the paper down, and then same thing in the jams, so that we get our black. We'll have a nice black line when you open the hood here. We'll have a nice black line. This paper, once I shut this hood, this paper's all gonna crumple together and basically seal anything from going in the engine bay all the way around the hood. The vents, obviously, I've got taped shut. I've got paper stuffed down in the hood in certain places where there's holes that I really can't get access to tape from the backside. So here we go. We've got it all masked off. As you can see, when I mask this line, I have fine line tape to my actual edge of where I'm spraying. I did a 3/4 inch tape to outline my stripes originally, leaving a little room between the actual edge of my stripe and the edge of my 3/4 inch tape. Mask out the stripe, put the plastic on the car, 1.5 inch tape to tape the plastic to my 3/4 line, and then I finish it off. This is 1/2 inch FBS, and the reason we do that is so that after I clear this, I can just take this and peel this back. I'll give it about somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes after I clear this with the flat clear to come in here and then rip my fine line tape. And I want to do that because that's going to help that edge lay down a little bit. If I leave that tape on there till tomorrow, come in and rip it off, it's gonna have a build right on the edge of the tape, and I'm trying to avoid avoid that. Being that we're using a flat clear, if I get dirt in this paint job, there's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I can do is sand it down and redo it. Cannot fix dust in a flat clear. So that being said, I've got vents here and things that are open that I can't do anything about. So what I like to do before I tack, I'll take my spray gun and I'll come across and act just air, no spraying, just air, and I'll just kind of wave it across like I'm painting this in hopes that if anything is left down in those cracks and crevices and holes, that it will blow it out. So I'll do that, and then I'll tack this off, and then I will go to my black base coat. The black base, this is 1683, just black toner right off the bank, 2-to-1 with 885. So now I've got one coat of black down, and as you can see, it's very transparent. I'm not trying to pound this on, I'm not going for coverage in one coat. I don't want that black to be bleeding under my tape line, so in this case, less is more. If it takes me 4 coats to cover this, I don't really care, as long as I don't have any bleeding issues and overspray issues around my stripe lines. So now I've got 2 coats down, and after things were nice and black, I had a few little chunks of dirt here and there that I came in and nibbed with some 800. Got this tacked off. We're gonna go on to the 3rd coat here, and then after that we're gonna shut the lights off and check for coverage. There we go, we've got coverage, 3 coats, shut the lights off, looked it over, got coverage, it's laid out fairly silky, pretty happy with it. We're gonna go on to 8115 flat clear. Some of you might have been wondering where the grills are for the scoops. They're in here as well, same process. They're black, we're gonna spray 8115 on them at the same time we spray that. So right now you can see how this is kind of spotty. It's flashing off. It will dry evenly, but right now it's kind of spotty. And some areas are shinier than others. And with this clear, it's pretty important to let it flash off. Basically, we want it all to look like that right there, nice and flat before we put our next coat on. So now I've got 2 coats of 8115 down on this. It's very shiny right now. It's not flashed off. It's still pretty wet. So now, where I've got that 1/2 inch FBS fine line tape, I'm gonna pull it off. Just like so. So there we have it. This is not totally flashed yet. It's gonna get a lot flatter than this, but this is basically dust free. This will take probably 8 or 12 hours to get totally flat, but I unmasked it now that it's dust free, unmasked the car, get the plastic off the car. The car is sanded and polished. It's gonna need another polishing before it goes home, just from touching it, working on it, taping on it, things like that, but this will flatten out a little more. We'll give her another polish and she will go home